Right, the Reds, it's Talking Reds, and today it is me, Gareth Roberts. I'm joined by John Gibbons. He's had to jump into the bedroom because his baby's giving it beans. This is the way life works when you're trying to do work from home, but we are all doing our best at the Anfield app. We are cracking on. There is videos, podcasts, and writing out there as ever. Plenty to keep you occupied. And look, if you want more, if you've already been listening to and watching the free stuff, have a go of the other stuff as well. Download the app. It's a good chance. You got time on your hands. Why not? But yeah, with today's Talking Reds, we wanted to do something a little bit different. So obviously, ordinarily, we dive into the news and the rumours and we talk about that. But I thought it'd be nice to do something a bit lighter, a bit different, a bit more cheery, a bit more sound, because we could all do with a little bit of that, couldn't we? So I asked Twitter last night, basically before I went to bed, I said this is what me and John wanted to do with today's Talking Reds. Ask for some nice questions. And I've got some nice questions, so I'm going to just fly through as many as we can. We'll do about sort of 20 minutes or so and see how we get on. So what have we got?
Yeah, first of all, nice one for that, Gareth, because you did it quite late. I didn't see, and I woke up to about 50 notifications, and I was like, what have I done?
Shit, did I say so? What have I said? Uber FM?
Exactly.
Yeah. It is one of them, isn't it? Well, let's start off with the one at the top, because that's nice enough. It's from Rashid, who regularly sort of tweets the Anfield app and has been a listener for a long time. So, hiya to you, mate, if you're watching. He says, let's have a little chat about players like Heskey, Coit, Eric Meyer, cult heroes, if you like. So tell us about a cult hero that springs to mind for you, John.
I mean, Meyer's a good one, isn't he? Because I think cult hero, it's a bit sort of damning with faint praise, isn't it? And I think, for example, Heskey was a better player than that. You got to remember what a good player he was for Liverpool. I think Dirk maybe fits into that category a little bit because he wasn't the best technically. I think one point he went a whole calendar year without scoring in the league or something, but just seemed to be always there at the big moments. Meyer's a funny one. We've obviously been lucky enough to spend a bit of time with Mad Eric, and can confirm it's not an ironic nickname.
Yeah, he certainly gets the island, doesn't he? Likes a bevy, and he's good company, and he's on Sky in Germany, isn't he? And yeah, I mean, I think it all sounds a bit wanky to say this, but I mean, he genuinely is friend of the show.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, he'd do anything towards him, help us out and stuff like that. And whenever we're in the same area, he always wants to come down. And I think he just loved his time at Liverpool, and that's what's nice as well. I think when you speak to him, he had a decent career, but a club like Liverpool, he probably thought was beyond his sort of talent, if you like. But he does get a bit of time here. There's some mad stories. Like, I know you've got a really good one from a reserve game, so I'll let you tell that because you were witness to it. But even I remember him having a really good game at Old Trafford once, and he was just sort of holding it up and trying to be a nuisance, but he was doing a job, like. But yeah, just loved getting the crowd going, and yeah, just genuinely loved the fact that he played for Liverpool.
Yeah, absolutely. He just gave it beans, as you say, and he always, like, I think by his own admission, you'd always say that phrase, don't you? Like they won the lottery, signing for Liverpool. But by his own admission, that's what he says. And I think he said he always wanted to mark his time here with a goal. And yeah, for the reserves, he was like G'ing everyone up, wasn't he? And going mad and giving it all this. And you're like, lad, it's only the reserves. And it was the same when he come on as a sub as well. He'd be giving it loads to the crowd. He'd be running around. And I think one of the reasons why he was liked is that, as a fan, I always say this, that, and some people argue with me about it, by the way, but I always say that if you're a fan, you're in the crowd. Every one of us has played footy, obviously to varying levels and at varying degrees of skill. Low in my case, but what you want to see is that sort of that endeavour and that effort, and then the skill on top, and he certainly had the endeavour and effort, didn't he? And I think it was the Dortmund 2001. I just bumped into him in the square in the build up to the final, got a picture with him, and then all these years later, when we were in Dortmund again, we recreated the picture and put the two together, and it was very saying, two drunken men in the build up to a game
with a bevy that's slightly too large.
Yeah. Okay, let's do some other ones. Johnny F. Field. He said, "Who's the funniest crazy footballer ever?" So he wants you to talk about maybe like a Gaza, a Mason, a Balotelli, a Di Canio. He says a Red if you can think of one, but I think he's just he wants to chat about a Maverick, doesn't he?
I mean, the one that comes to mind straight away for me is Rene Higuita. Like, obviously, does the famous scorpion kick in that game against England. I think it's Jamie Redknapp who actually takes the shot, so it is a Liverpool connection. Well, shot come cross, but it goes to him, but he chooses to do that, and who would think to do that in a game? And but it just showed the way his mind obviously worked, and I think. There was a few times where he just get a bit bored and bring the ball out, wasn't it? And it was just funny because Colombia had a good team as well, so it wasn't like he was just playing for no mark. So it was a good Colombia team, but they seemed to just sort of tolerate that every now and again. Benegita was going to do this, and he got caught out a couple of times, I think. But generally speaking, I think it was a bit of an asset for them, like in bringing it out. But he was off his head. Obviously, the closest we had to that was Brucey, with the spaghetti legs and things like that. I think. There was one where he's on the pitch with an umbrella, isn't he, at one point and stuff like that. And I did notice, I think it was this week actually, was when because we're doing a show called On This Day on our subscription audio service. I was having a look at a few ideas for that, and I think this week was an anniversary of a Liverpool Everton game where someone from the Everton end comes on and gives him a clown mask, and and Brucey just goes with it, hangs it up in the back of the net and stuff like that, and he just embraced it all, didn't he? And I think people know about Grobbelaar's background. He's seen things in his life, and so I think he was able to put football into the context of what it was, which was a brilliant way to make a living. A fun thing to do, to play in front of them crowds and to do that. He was determined to enjoy it and not take himself too seriously, even though, he obviously loved winning for the Reds as well.
Well, you mentioned the On This Day show that we do, and we just done one just before this, and we were talking about a game against Marseille, and that reminded me of a player that I think fits into this category, which is Titi Camara, because we got him from there, didn't we? And I think it was only like sort of 2.5 million-ish, round about that figure. But he was certainly, a maverick player, a player who went on mad runs, scored mad goals, and was a very sort of likeable fella. Obviously, fell out with Houllier, and that was the end of that, if you like. But you look back at some of those goals, and what I really like is, you remember the 100 players who shook the cop. And obviously, that was very determined, a lot of it, by sort of, recency bias. So people were voting for players they'd seen, in the last couple of years or whatever. And Titi's actually on the list, which is mad when you think about, all the players we've had down the years. But he's on the list. And what the club did at the time was, after they made the list, they made a documentary where they talked about every one of the players. And if you look for it on YouTube, the Titi one is on there somewhere. And it's got Carragher on there talking about Titi, and it's Carragher when he's got the old, the brutal accent before he was on.
not his big voice, yeah.
and it's boss, because he's basically talking about Titi, and he's talking about him affectionately, with a smile on his face, but he's saying when he first come, he's doing all these six, and we're like, what have we got on our hands here? Like Pele or something? and then he says something like, where things even themselves out after that, but I think we all remember Titi fairly fondly, and obviously there was the incident where his father had passed away, and he still wanted to play football for the club, which was always going to endear him to Liverpool hearts. And I think it's still mad to this day, isn't it, that account pops up on Twitter that loads of people still think is him, and it's in fact some fella in his bills on the Wirral.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
Let's see what else we've got then. Nicola says, can we arrange a video call with Jurgen? We are missing him. I mean, we'd love it. And if you're watching Jurgen, any chance, obviously, I think that might be reference to Carlo Ancelotti ringing up Everton fans. That was fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, a brilliant video. I loved it. Yeah, I loved the way that the fella keeps calling him Mr. Ancelotti. Yeah. And Ancelotti's like, can you call me Carlo? And he's like, no. I won't. And I'm like, fair play, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's like, we're a similar age and all that. And he's like, no, I'm going to call you Mr. Ancelotti. And it's a really nice call. And, it's both clubs are doing this thing at the moment where they're trying to reach out to people, elderly supporters or people who are classed as vulnerable. And that's really good. I think both what Liverpool and Everton are doing throughout this deserves a lot of credit. But obviously, like, getting a call from the a manager, especially when it's someone like Carlo Ancelotti's like one step up, isn't it? I must admit, if I was at Everton seeing ticket holder, I was watching that and I got Barry on, I'd be fuming.
Well, Duncan Ferguson rang Dave Kelly last night as well.
Saw that, yeah.
So, I mean, there's loads of good stuff like that going on, to be fair. I mean, I just turned on the BBC site before and it was like, Pep Guardiola's made a big donation. I think Watford are doing stuff in the community. Even just something I caught on the television the other day where one of the non-league clubs, like their players are reporting in every day and they're going out in vans and giving like food out in the community and stuff like that. I mean, there's loads of that going on and it's brilliant because, we always say, don't we, football's just a sport, just a game, or loads of people do say that to us. But it's not. It's central to the community, and we're seeing that it's central to the community right now, which is really nice. Our mate Robbie Scotcher has been on. Hope you're well, Robbie. Hope you're watching. And he says, this is a tough one. Best Londoners to play for Liverpool. Now, there's a thing about this, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because we always say we've never really had a good one, and like, why is that? I mean, Joe Cole was obviously one, and we thought he maybe could be at one point. I remember doing quite a few articles in the now defunct Well Read magazine about how, we've got to give him a chance. He could make it. He obviously had an absolute nightmare start to his Liverpool career. And yeah, it never worked out whatsoever for him. So he's not one. Anyone that springs to mind, Londoners that have been all right for Liverpool?
Well, Raheem Sterling's the most talented, isn't he? But obviously, he then goes on to sort of, have his best years. Well, his best years might still to become, but certainly, Man City getting the best out of him rather than us. But in terms of the most talented, a little bit just before my time, but people who saw Paul Walsh said there was a really good footballer in there, and it didn't necessarily sort of work out for different reasons. I think, did you interview him? Or I know the Anfield Wrap have interviewed him, and his book's apparently a very good read. Maybe that's something I can do now. I've got more time on my hands. These football autobiographies that all put out, but I think Paul Walsh certainly had the talent, and I think there was if you speak to Rob Gutman in particular, I know Rob really likes him and says there was a time where he was looking like he was going to be the real deal for Liverpool.
Yeah, that'll do. Does Glenn Johnson count? He's from down there, isn't he?
I'm trying to figure out where Chamberlain's from as well, but I think me and you were just doing the south. like we moan about London where they just talk about the north. You're like, it's not one place. I mean, me and you are doing a bit of that now.
Yeah. We might be doing that. Let's move on then. Okay. So Samuel Hodgkiss has asked, what's the worst kit you've seen a team playing at Anfield? I've got one. I hope it's not your one, and I'm not going to steal your thunder. But I remember us playing Sheffield United years ago, and they basically turned up in a glow in the dark kit, and it was mad. It was like what the steward, it was the same colour as what the stewards wear, that kind of yellow, and it was like, I'm not sure about that, boys. That's not good for my eyes. I'm glad that's not the kit under those even brighter Anfield lights that we've got now. But any that stick out for you, John?
Do you know what? Not really, no. Because I've got a few bad kits in me, but I don't know if that's just from seeing them rather than like necessarily seeing them in Anfield. Like Coventry City seemed to go through a period of having some awful away ones. They had that brown one, didn't they? But then thinking about it, wouldn't they have just worn sky blue at Anfield? Not too sure. And the Norwich have had some dodgy ones as well, the away ones. Like you think Norwich, should just be able to get it quite easy, but some green ones. But whether they're at Anfield as such, I don't know. Just trying to think. I think the United grey one, that they definitely wore at Anfield, and then that was the one where what was the one where they couldn't? Yeah. What was it? They couldn't see each other, and yeah, that one. Maybe go for that, because United obviously do have to wear the away colours at Liverpool. So yeah, some of the United ones where they couldn't see each other, maybe we'll go for that.
They had a mad one, like a sort of electric blue one that like sort of whoever designed it, it was like they were on acid. You know, it was absolutely wild. It sort of it was fitting in with like the Manchester scene. I wonder whether that was worked into the thinking behind it. Okay, what else have we got? We've got some nice comments as well. We've had loads of nice comments, and we do really appreciate it. By the way, it's worth us saying that. You know, we've had stuff on email, we've had stuff on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Just people saying nice things about the fact that we're carrying on, we're keeping on going. Well, we appreciate that, and we appreciate everyone's support for what we're doing as well, because you know, they are mad times, and we've got a nice comment here amongst the tweets that I got. Lots of people talking about James Milner's 11 that he did on his social media. Absolutely amazing.
Really good.
Really good. I mean, you know, like that's proper creativity, that, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, and well delivered, funny, and it was like, you know, when it first starts, you're like, well, where's he going with this? Do you know what I mean? But absolutely superb, and I hope they keep all that kind of stuff up. There was a little thing the other day, John, about sort of, you know, they'd been not warned as such, but I think told to not be on social media all day type of thing, because it's not great mental health wise. And I agree with that, but I do hope that they still, you know, lash a little bit of stuff up like that, because, you know, Milner's been great. Robbo, when he did his Q&A the other day, was great. And, you know, it's just nice to see bits of their personality, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, you know, it keeps that connection going with the club as well, which is what we want. You know, you can't watch them play at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, but, you know, it keeps reminding, you know, people that they're there, that they're good lads, because it is a squad of good lads at the moment. And yeah, just enjoying the personality of Milner, like his creativity. I tell you what, I reckon get him in the Anfield app offices. I reckon he'd have some greater content ideas. You know what I mean? He'd rival you, Robbo. You know what I mean? In terms of yeah, stuff like the rubbing the Lamborghini Wijnaldum, like you know, unreal stuff. So yeah, so yeah, get him in. So yeah, James, if you ever short of what to do when you do retire finally, you've always got a job at the Anfield bar.
Which was your favourite one? Was Genie your favourite one?
I like Genie. Yeah, I thought David Silva was clever as well. With the 10p coin, I did like that one as well, and obviously finishing. Lewis Dunk, yeah, the man after your own heart with it at the end. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, that was obviously my favourite. we had another one there. I've just lost it now. I've just gone on to some bird. I'll have a look at it. I'll have a look at it later. Hang on, I've lost me thread here. This is what happens when you rely on Twitter for content. Come on, hit me with a good one. There's quite a few. I said I don't want it to be about Corona. I was seeing a good one just then, and it was name me a player that would best fit in with Jurgen Klopp's team, who played for. He was like a bit of a legend. He said he wants someone pre-20. Here it is. Which legend from the past? This is from Pete Ellis. Which legend from the past before 2010 would fit best into Klopp's Liverpool?
Okay. Well, I never saw him play, but just from videos and stuff like that, Kevin Keegan, for his energy, for his, you know, what he brought. Apparently he was Shankly's favourite player, wasn't he? And, you know, Shankly had some brilliant players, but apparently Keegan was sort of secretly, or maybe not even so secretly, his favourite, just because of his quality, but what he brought. And I think there's obviously a lot of similarities between Shankly and Klopp with the personalities and what they think the role of football is within society. And so I would imagine that you know, Kevin Keegan could, you know, do a decent Bobby Firmino impression and more. And you know, it's someone, as I say, who I didn't necessarily see, but I would imagine, you know, he would have loved. So yeah, cheating a little bit because I never actually saw him, but Keegan in this front three, wherever you want, I reckon it'd be fantastic.
I reckon that's a good shout. That I was like, I don't know if you talked about him with him yourself, but John Macken is always a great chat about Keegan, because he always says, obviously, you know, for me as well, I didn't get to see him. I've obviously watched the videos and seen goals he scored for Liverpool and read the books, etc. But Macken says, in terms of a level of player, he says, honestly, I'd be putting him up there with, you know, the likes of Suarez. He said he was a brilliant player. He said it wasn't just about energy and work rate. Like he said, he was a class player. So, yeah, I think that's a belter of an answer.
A
What
nice
else have we got?
little, just a nice little Keegan story I want to tell while you sort of flick through, because I know people like to hear a little kind of behind the scenes stuff on the Anfield app. So here's one: we wanted Keegan for ages, and we didn't necessarily know how to get him because he doesn't live in the area anymore and stuff like that, and sort of keeps himself to himself really. So we'd made a few inquiries, and then when his book came out, we actually had a thing with Audio Boom where they asked us to promote it. So we did 2 or 3 adverts where we got paid by the publishers to kind of talk about his book and stuff like that. And then in the end, someone kind of got in touch and said, well, would you, I think I can get you, Kevin. And thanks a lot to that person who did that. It was someone I sort of knew years ago and sort of works with him on the book. And so I passed my number on, but it was a surreal moment because I was actually on a course. And I was on it was like a management course type thing with all these people from all these different industries, all sat in this room, kind of, learning together, if you like. And just before we were going to come back from a break, I had this call. I didn't know the number, but I thought, well, it might be him. So I went outside and it was Kevin Keegan ringing me and said, hey, do you want to do an interview? That's fine and stuff like that. And he said, but I'm going away in a couple of days, so can you come sort of to do it tomorrow? And I was like, well, yeah, that's completely fine. And I said, well, where do you want to do it? He said, I'll just come to ours if you want. So it was like one of them mad things. I was like, yeah, I'll just come to your house. But it was then going back into this room and with all these people who, as I say, doing all these different things and not being able to go, Kevin Keegan's just rang me and I'm going to this tomorrow. Because he looked like a bit of a knobhead. But yeah, very, very surreal moment. But I went to Kevin Keegan's house. Me and Sean Walsh did the producer and took some pictures. His missus made me a lovely cup of tea and had a lovely half-an-hour chat.
Brilliant, love that. He seems a lovely fella as well. I presume he was.
Yeah, dead sound. Yeah, couldn't do enough for you, and yeah, just a really nice man.
Boss. Okay, well, we've done about 20 minutes here, so we'll make this the last one. Eric Golner. Apologies, Eric, if I've said your name wrong. I probably have, as discussed on previous Talking Reds. It's not my forte to get people's names right. But he says very simply, and this is obviously based on the interview the other day and the stuff that's gone around since, would you take Sterling back?
I just think there's just too much. There's not enough water under the bridge. Whatever the opposite of that is, there's too much dry under the bridge. I think there's I just think it's just too mad for me to get my head around. Really, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't. I think he's a brilliant player. You can't say it never happened, but it just I know it's a mad world we live in now, but it just feels to me like that's a little bit too mad for it to happen. But do you know what I mean? If Klopp thought he could get him, he wouldn't be bothered, would he? He'd just sort of make it happen and tell us all to get on with it. But yeah, I don't know. I can't see it, but would it take him? I just sort of rather he went for someone else who didn't have all the baggage, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, purely from his ability as a player, you're taking him on. Yeah, it's only because of the surrounding story, really, I think. But I mean, you say that. I mean, we've had stuff in the past, haven't we? I mean, I still, and I'm getting a smile on my face now thinking about it. And I know it wasn't amazing, but when we got Nick Barmby was something else, wasn't it? And then for him to then score in the derby, I mean, I know it's daft to say it was worth it for that alone, but it was.
Very much so. He could have just retired after that, couldn't he? Would have been fine.
Okay, well, that's what as I thought we'd do Talking Reds a little bit differently today, everyone. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Let us know if you like this sort of format of us doing it. We'll have another crack at this maybe next week sometime. In the meantime, as well, as I said before, do get onto all the content that we've been doing. There's been lots of it. John, Neil, and hopefully Ben Jono are doing a hot mic tonight. If you don't know what that is, basically they're going to watch an old game. It's Liverpool against Everton from 2006, is it, John?
Yeah.
And yeah, you can get involved. You can ask the boys questions, get involved in the conversation, watch it live, listen to these lads talking about it, get yourself a bevy, get involved. It's quite a social thing. How do they get involved in that, John?
Yeah, so download the app. So it's Hot Mic app on your phone. That's it, iPhone or Android. It's just Hot Mic app. Then you download it, put the referral code in Anfield app. when you do it, and then just follow us, and that'll tell you when you get a notification when we go online. You watch the game on YouTube, but you get the commentary through your phone or an iPad or whatever sort of other device you want. But it works best if you do it on 2 devices. So yeah, watch it on YouTube on your laptop or your computer. Get the commentary through your phone or a mobile device or anything like that. And yeah, just enjoy it. Get involved. There's a chat function on Hot Mic as well, so we can all enjoy Phil Neville's own goal together. No spoilers.
And there is, as we said before, loads of other stuff going on, regular stuff. So every weekday we are doing an On This Day podcast. People are saying they're enjoying them, they're going down well. We've also got Neil speaking to basically every other club out there, a different club each day, just talking to them about their perspective on what's going on, what's happened so far in the season, what they think about the current situation, etc. and so on. We're doing stuff video wise as well. Neil's done a couple of stats videos to keep you going. We're launching a new show as well called Finding a Footy Fix, which does what it says on the tin. We find something for you to watch on the internet, we review it, we show you a little clip of it, and then hopefully you can then go away and watch that yourself if you like the sounds of it. So we'll be doing a series of those as well. Speaking to lots and lots of people on video and on podcasts as well, putting the feelers out all the time, trying to keep the whole thing going really. So as we said before, thanks for your support, give it a go, and yeah, up the Reds.